All right, guys. So I was just watching a debate with Kent Hovind and Greg Newkirk. And towards the end of the debate, Hovind actually, he held his weight pretty good throughout this debate. But then towards the end of the debate, Greg, he put in a point that said, if we could cause DNA mutations in a single cell to produce a new protein, he's referring to macroevolution here, trying to draw a point for that. He's saying, if that could happen, would you concede to evolution? And Hovind, he withdrew and didn't really want to respond. And Greg used that as kind of like a power play to say that he checkmated him. But my suggestion would be is like, if in a controlled setting, an external force comes in and forces a mutation to propagate a new protein inside of a single cell, then that is something other than a natural influence that caused that protein to come to existence, basically. So we don't have any kind of observation in nature of these kinds of mutations taking place in that protein occurring. So just because you're able to do that in a lab-controlled environment where you force cryptid mutations up on this single cell to produce this new protein, which I would argue is something that probably needs to be observed from some outside sources anyways, because I didn't exactly get the best vibes from the guy whenever he was trying to draw that conclusion. It almost seemed like he was reaching. You guys should go and watch the debate and check it out for yourself. It's Kent Hovind versus Greg Newkirk. It's pretty interesting to see how this Greg guy kind of is, I don't know, he seems pressed most of the time. Seems like he's kind of grasping for straws. And, I know I definitely couldn't hold a candle to Kent Hovind and this Greg Newkirk guy, but I just saw kind of a fatal flaw in that idea that he proposed. If you force a mutation on a single cell in order to gain the outcome of a new protein, that isn't suggesting that's something that can naturally occur in nature. So, see, the reason I say this, guys, is they would have you believe that the single-celled organism eventually evolved into the well, and that a cow shares the same DNA and is a relative to a sunflower or a dandelion, and that a dog is related to a tulip. And now that I really think about it, I mean, these things are just completely absurd. I was never really on Kent Hovind's team as far as creationism goes. I don't know. I never really had, dive that deeply into Kent Hovind's way of thinking, but I don't know. You guys should check this guy out and see what you think about him. And if anybody has any relevant information about the mutation, the DNA single cell forcing the protein, feel free to comment. I'm open-minded. So, yeah, you guys have a good day. God bless you.